my friends, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is going to be a big old chat, okay? I'm going to be sitting here, I'm going to be just going through some things. I had the best time over the weekend up here in the makeup room. I came up here, mom and dad had the kids for the afternoon, and a lot of times I get up here and I'm starting to organize or weed out or just I've got a different plan. But on this past Saturday, it was just the most relaxed, beautiful time of going through some things and really rediscovering and finding some forgotten items that I just totally, I don't know, somehow they missed me for a period of time. And I was just coming into meeting up with them again. And it was just a really, really fun time of getting those out and playing with the makeup, trying them on. I've always talked about, like, you know, the funnest time with makeup is when you really have nowhere to go, nothing specific to do, and you can just pop out some makeup and just kind of play around. Like, I already had my full face of makeup done, but I was getting things out and trying them on and swatching them, and I'm not sure what else to say other than it was just the best, most perfect energy, you know? It was just great. And I thought I would share with you some of the things that I uncovered and felt this way about. And I'd also like to encourage you to do the same in your own collection. I mean, new things are fun. It's super fun to get new products and get that loop out of the back of your hair. Where did that come from? But we all know it's really fun to try something new, but I just can't really describe this feeling of looking through what I already had and feeling so much gratitude and joy and eagerness about it. So the first thing that really got the ball rolling was this, and it was a little bit before this whole process started to unfold, and Bubba, his name's actually Red, but my little guy was up here nosing around and he got into a drawer where, by the way, a lot of these drawers aren't full. After doing a massive declutter and reorganization, I don't know, probably almost a year ago, a lot of things got shifted around, and I did have like one drawer down there that had some things that I don't know if I thought they were limited edition or whatever, but just some different groupings of products. And Bubba pulls this out, and this is gorgeous. This palette, I'm thinking it was probably like a Nordstrom sale kind of deal. Tell me if you remember exactly where this Bobbi Brown palette came from, but look. Oh, I love this. I'm wearing all of this today, actually. I'm wearing, you know, bronzer, this blush, the highlight. And by the way, those shades are French pink on the blush. The highlighter is Halo and the bronzing powder is medium. So all that's working. I love a multi-palette, you know, but I just saw these shades and I thought, ooh, what a nice, cool, neutral sort of color selection. So I'm also wearing straight across this row. Those are the shades Stone and Pink Chandelier, that shimmer, Chocolate, which has some shimmer as well, like in the outer corner crease, and then Shell. So straight across there, that's what I'm wearing today on the eyes. And I just thought, what beautiful shades. And a lot of these shades I recognize as different singles that Bobbi Brown makes all the time. I just felt really excited about this, and I thought this is what's going to get the ball rolling for a whole bunch more finds like this. So allow me to continue. And the reason why I'm not doing this full face try-on style is because that was not the manner at all in which I uncovered these things. I wasn't looking for just a full face to do a video for. I was just looking here, looking there, very random assortment of things. Just, you'll see. I also found another beautiful Bobbi Brown thing, and this was given to me I want to say a couple Christmases ago by my friend Erica. She's here on YouTube. She's wonderful. And this palette, could it look any more luxe? Like, it's so fancy. Caviar and Ruby's eyeshadow palette. What is it about this Bobbi Brown stuff that just feels so fancy? We've got a magnetic closure. It's speaking to me. And then look, the shades on the inside are like super duper glam, and I was playing with this like just on top of whatever makeup look I had on that day, and I was just astounded by the richness of like a pure black. And then this shade's called Black Plum. I actually have that as a single, but like working with those in the outer corner, creating a beautiful smoky eye. This navy down here, this is called Deep Sapphire. And then the sparkle, you know what I did with that? I just got a little bit of like a setting spray on my hand, dipped my brush into that, and then went into that sparkly shade, which is called Gilded, and that created this glistening veil on the lid. It was so much fun. So I was like, you know, use the fancy stuff. That is something I kind of have to have in the back of my head sometimes. Go ahead and use the fancy stuff. It's okay. Sometimes I feel like, oh, you know, that was a nice gift. I don't want to use that up, or that was something really fancy. Just use it. Do the fancy stuff. Here's another thing that I found that I'd completely forgotten about, and I believe this was sent in PR. It wasn't my own decision to get this one. This is a brow and eyeshadow palette from Viseart, and it actually has some creams over here. So I've used mostly this one, and I've used this palette before, but very sparingly. And I use this, I wouldn't call it maybe a wax, but it feels more like a pomade. And I use that with an angled brush throughout my brows, and then I kind of set it up with a combination of these two shades over here. But these shades can be eyeshadows too. So while I look at it, I start thinking, well, this is best for a makeup artist. You know, this is best for somebody who needs to cater to different tones of brows. They do say it's a brow and eyeshadow palette. So these could be nice shadows to play with as well for kind of a deep, murky, grungy kind of neutral look, you know. But I just wanted to pull that out, bring that to my attention again. So I've got that. Also, what about this beauty? The Norvina palette. I mean, can we really look at this for a second? Wow. It's stunning. It's stunning. I wore it yesterday. I just thought it was beautiful. A lot of beautiful directions you can go with this that actually aren't purple. It's funny how much we are steered, I think, by like the color of a palette or the color of the statement shades in a palette. Like I talked about with Modern Renaissance the other day. There's really only like 3 reddish pinky shades in there, but I think that's what sticks in our mind when we think about the color scheme of the palette. And this one, the color of the palette is purple, and then maybe some standout shades here really catch your eye with that purple coolness. But actually, you know, there's some beautiful rose golds. There's a lot of beautiful neutralness going on here. I love this shade down here called Passion. I really rooted my look in that the other day along with some rose gold, and it was just a wonderful experience. I love this. Why do we not attach to some things immediately? Like, why are there some things that just are more floating through our makeup existence as opposed to really getting in there and sticking? And I think sometimes it's just timing. Sometimes it's the timing of what else we have and what else is also going on in our lives that causes us to not be in that place where we're just stopping and really looking and taking it all in. I think for a YouTuber or just, you know, an influencer, so to speak, specifically, when you have a lot of different products floating through your space, it can make you miss stuff, or it can make you not linger as long on certain things. I think that's sad, but I think that's also why it's so important to deliberately come in and look for things and just enjoy it. And here's the last big palette I pulled out, my Mattes palette from Profusion. I went through my whole Profusion drawer and I found many things that I really loved, but this was one where I was like, oh yeah, that's the big boy. That's the one here that can go cool, it can go warm, it's all matte except for one little dazzling shade right down there in that corner. But there is so much beauty in this palette, you guys, so much richness available in here. Whether it's berry, whether it's deep charcoal black, multiple takes on terracotta, and then lots of mid-tones and light shades to help you blend it and get just the smoothest, most beautiful look. I've done some looks I've absolutely adored with this palette, and I'm so excited to have it really back on my radar right now. So no, this is not just a palette video. I've got a lot more things that I pulled out. I'll try to be quick as I go through this, but I'm so excited about some of these different things. It's going to be really random. I will share the foundation and concealer I've got on right now. As I was going through that stuff, I really didn't want to pull out tons of different things because there are so many newish ones that I'm wanting to sort of have my attention on right now. But I did pull out my NARS Soft Matte Foundation and then also the Soft Matte Concealer. This is in Patagonia and this is in Creme Brulee, and I'm wearing them right now. And I remembered how when I really came into these products, it was hot weather, and I remembered like wear testing it in sweaty, hot conditions outside. And I thought, what a good time to bust these back out again for staying power, you know, because it really lasts beautifully on the skin and it looks so pretty. And you use this concealer, this cream concealer that has almost a little bit of a cooling feel as you put it on. And this is the only concealer I've got going on that under eye area. And I just love the evenness of all this, the full coverage of it all. Like I love that stuff so much. And I had really not picked those up in quite some time. Believe Beauty, this is a brand that I'm really like kind of reinvestigating ever since the little Dollar General experience I had last week. There were a couple of products, a really great mascara and a fun kind of bronzy mixer type product. It made me dig through some PR I already had of Believe, things that were newer than just that initial review video that I did like 2 years back. So plan to see some more on that brand from me. But one of the things in particular, I have this Radiantly Primed Face Primer. This is so pretty, like even not just as a primer, but as like face highlight. The shade is so stunning, the glow on it. Like if you just wanted to tap that on over top, like, are you kidding me? I'm wearing it as primer today as well, but my matte foundation kind of like said, haha, very funny, and went over it with its mattness. But look at how pretty this is just patted on top, that radiance. I mean, when I saw that, when I squeezed it out on my hand, I was just kind of playing around. I thought, ooh, that can be more than just primer. Like that's glorious. This is representative of a lot of Believe Beauty that I'm retesting now, including actually a couple of these guys. Was it Saturday or maybe Friday? I was wearing this palette and it's called Nearly Nude. And it's probably one of my favorite ones that they have eyeshadow wise. This brand is doing the powder texture so well. And I really loved the grouping and the balance that was in this palette, you know, dark to light, shimmer and matte. It's really working for me. And then I also had this one called Love Struck. And this made me think about modern Renaissance, you know, with some terracotta and some pink and some neutral. But really, this palette doesn't do it for me on its own. It just doesn't have enough contrast. It needs something deeper. So really, I find this palette to be useful and nice, really nice quality, if you pair it with this one. So you can use some of the depth and richness that's in here to balance out some of the lightness and brightness of this one. But again, Believe Beauty, Dollar General, it's all $5 or less, and some of it is tremendous. I pulled out my Will Powder palette from the Balm. We are so random in this video and I love it. These blushes are lovely, and the highlight especially. This really glows. It almost looks, I want to say borderline dull, just to look at it in the packaging there. It's just kind of like, okay, what are you? Who are you? But then you see it swatched out and it's so brightening. I'm not going to layer yet another highlight on my skin right now, but this one is really pearly and gorgeous. And the blushes are great in there too, don't get me wrong. So that's one of the newer products that the Balm has kind of like remade in their recyclable packaging. You know, instead of having magnetic, it's got the little flap. But I love this, and I was like, ooh, I can't wait to use that again. My goodness, the randomness. This Too Faced powder. I remembered really enjoying this along with the Primed and Poreless Primer in a video way back when, and it says pore blurring and mattifying face powder. And I also have this on top of all that NARS soft matte stuff, and I was just kind of like enamored by the evenness and the velvety look on my skin. Like, it really didn't look powdery at all. I set my under eye with this too, and it was just kind of an invisible quality, really. The skin looked matte without looking like it had been powdered. There's the description I'm looking for. Some pressed powders that you get that are like this, that have that white look, they are such a texture that you don't really get powder payoff, but you really will see some. Like if you swatch it out or if you dip a brush in, you'll see it on the brush. But yet it goes on the skin very sneakily, very smoothly. Plus the compact is so just delicate and pretty. I love that. Like if you wanted to take this on the go for touch-ups, they do give you the cutest little heart-shaped puff, by the way. Nice touch, nice attention to detail. Also, I had recently seen a video from Allie Glines talking about Laura Geller. And first off, props to her for jumping into a somewhat off the beaten path kind of brand that truly is super high quality, like Balance and Brighten foundation. She talked about loving that, and then she explored a few other things, and I thought that's great. And Laura Geller has really gotten their marketing now specifically toward more mature women, and I think that's great because I think there's just so little attention to that age range from the bulk of makeup brands, and I support this brand so much in what they're doing. And Allie's right, they have some great quality products. It made me look into my Balance and Brighten and remember how much I love that. And you guys know I recently talked about a little trio palette I had that had the French vanilla and the Tropic Hues blush that is so pretty, and a bronzer in there. That brand and Believe Beauty, both of them, I'm kind of like, ooh, let me get into you all over again. But one thing that I found that I really hadn't done enough with for a long time is this Baked Balance and Glow Illuminating Foundation in Fair. I can't remember if I got this from QVC or remember Ulta back in the day when Laura Geller was still at Ulta, but this is described as a combination of foundation and highlight, and it's a really pretty finishing touch all over the skin, okay? It's funny that Fair is the shade I feel comfortable wearing this product in, because overall the medium shade works for me in other powder foundation type products that she makes. But I think what's kind of cool about this is you can sort of build it up and make it be like subtle highlight, or you could wear it all over the skin as foundation if you wanted to, or for me, I really love the look of it just setting regular foundation, and it gives this really pretty skin-like sheen. And it's got that beautiful marbled look that Laura Geller's products have. So yeah, great brand. It was nice to see Allie talking about that. I grabbed a couple of different high-end blushes out, kind of in the name of use your fancy stuff. It's funny though, because these are like polar opposite color tones. You'll see. I've got this Patrick Ta one, and it's called She's Seductive. And it's so like just toasty and neutral. And let's throw a little bit on, shall we? So this is matte. And it's got this really pretty, like, nutty kind of, I don't know. What am I getting at here? Is there a little rosiness in it? It's hard to tell when you've already got blush on sometimes. But it's sneaky and it's pretty, and it's like really not trying too hard, but it definitely does have some color payoff. So I got that. And then for whatever reason, I also pulled out this one. I remember getting this when Kristen Game and I were shopping in Chicago. It was the summer before Bubba was born. And I got the Charlotte Tilbury blush in Love is the Drug. And look how bright. Super bright pink. It's got that core that's like ultra bright, and then this sort of salmony color around the outside. And that's such a pretty lively blush on the cheeks, but I don't often pull for it. So I'm gonna do it now. Do we remember these? The Too Faced Melted Chocolate Matte Eyeshadows. So good. Oh my gosh, I like went over an entire eye look playing with these the other day. So much fun. These are beautiful tones. Like I remember still the look of the model when they were really big time advertising these, and it was just like this hazy, matte, beautiful eye. And I love the shades Amaretto, Chocolate Chai, and Chocolate Wine. So these are just doe foot applicator cream eyeshadows. They are exactly how they look there at the ends. Having a dense blending brush is really, really helpful when you're working with these, and I should definitely link to the initial video I did where I was reviewing this stuff because it was a pretty look. But when I saw these in a drawer, I thought, ooh, how fun, you know, using some of that. And then I was looking at other cream shadows, other textures. I found this Laura Mercier Beam Caviar Stick, and that's what I've got popping right around my inner corner. It looks white, but it gives you kind of that pinky iridescence. Beautiful brightness just around that inner corner. Oh, how fun. Get out of town. Is there anything more fun than makeup? And then also this Laura Mercier Cream Caviar Chrome Veil. It's called Lightweight Liquid Eye Color. And I thought about like busting out a real matte look with this and then just glazing the lid in something like this that has a little bit more glow to it. Okay, so doe foot applicator style here. I've got all kinds of things I want to do with this stuff. And just speaking of other textures, I feel like I gravitate toward powder by default most of the time, but I wanted to pull out my Rare Beauty cream blush. This is in the shade Love, and it's really intense. It's beautiful. It gives your cheeks this beautiful, rich rosiness. Warning, a lot will come off on that big buck foot applicator, so make sure you're only getting a little tiny bit of this shade at a time if you're my skin tone. But it's this really pretty, like rusty, reddish mix of red and rose and terracotta. So there's an earthiness to it. I really love this shade. It's very unique, and I want to be wearing it more. I also rediscovered my Benefit High Beam. Who's been wearing High Beam? So liquid highlight before liquid highlighters were cool, right? You can give a few dots there and then grab a little brush, just blend it out. Oh, it's really brightening is the thing. Like it's so pearly. I really love that. It's one of those things where I think you do want to blend right away. It's not like it's hard to blend, but you don't want to let it sit there. So yeah, I just got a little bit of that on there. And alongside that, I rediscovered the Dandelion Shy Beam, which is very interesting. It's like High Beam, but not so shimmery. It's got actually a little bit more just straight up creaminess in there. It's cool. Oh, Clinique. I love their duos, but I also found that I had Pink Honey. So a very dull looking, I'm sorry, it might look dull to some people, but I love a neutral palette from time to time, and it's kind of like cool neutrals, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I had that. So I'm going to be using that as well. And then can I run through some lip colors rapid fire style before I let you go here? Sorry, this is just such a long, rambling, random video, but this was just kind of the nature of the way it all came to me. What I'm wearing on my lips today, okay, I love this stuff. This is the Balm Jour Creamy Lip Stain from the Balm. I raved on this stuff, I don't know, a year or so back, and it's really a beautiful product because it goes on feeling and looking like lip gloss, and it still has moisture on there, but it's not looking quite as shiny anymore, is it? This product really starts to become one with your lips. You end up with stained lips. Some of the shine and the texture will wear off throughout the day as you're eating and drinking, but the color of the lips is so, so beautiful. And they've got a lot of really pretty shades. This one, as you can see, is kind of a reddish type color, but I'm confident in wearing it because it really does stay in place, but not at all like your typical liquid lipstick because you have moisture all the time. But the color ends up being so even, and the staining effect is really cool. So I love that stuff. I rediscovered MAC Powder Kiss lipstick. I have it here in the shade Burning Love. Beautiful berry. What the heck is going on with this beautiful texture? How did this really get past me? I've got several of these. They smell like good vanilla MAC lipstick, but the texture is like light as air, but it's really matte and really full color. It's a surprising little lip product there. I rediscovered several different ABH lip glosses. I really like the texture of the ABH glosses. They're super pigmented. They're not too sticky. They're not too thick, but they're just thick enough, okay? And I got some dazzling shades here. I have Sunset Strip, Saint Tropez, and Alexandra. And I thought they would all be fun little like accent colors to whatever I'm doing lip color wise. Like maybe I'm just grabbing, you know, a Revlon lip liner, throwing it on, and then kazam, one of these shades goes on top and completely changes the trajectory of the look. But let me get them up close so you can see just how fun they are. Like, look guys, is that not gonna be a great time? Oh, and also I grabbed out my Rare Beauty Inspire, what do they call this? Gosh, the writing is so small. It's like a liquid lipstick, basically, but this shade. I really wanted to get my good out of this shade during the summer. It seems like a bright, summery, fun red, but with a lot of warmth in it. So yeah, guys, that's what I came up with. That's what I was playing with the other day when I just had some time to have a little peace and solitude up here in the makeup room. Just so many fun, wonderful rediscoveries, cool things just hiding out in here, you know? If you're looking for a good time, just go to your makeup collection, wherever it may be, however big it may be, start looking through. There will always be some things that you just haven't maybe used real recently, and just get reacquainted. It's fun. Thank you guys so much for your time. I love you. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.